Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment as the Tennessee Titans wrap up their entire 2023 NFL draft class. They just selected their final pick, number 228 overall. And we're going to discuss it. The big headline will be that the Titans waited all the way until round 7 for when they finally took a wide receiver. Now, to be honest with you, Church, most fifth round wide receivers don't work out anyway. We had a little bit of a blimp with Tajay Sharp his rookie year, and then he faded off. Stephon Diggs, I'm pretty sure he was fifth. He's been great. A lot of them end up just being fine. I think KJ Osborne also might have been a fifth or something like that. The hit rate, it's not great. So, in fact, we should even probably look at that later on in this video. So, look, I wasn't even huge on that, especially because, when Tyler Scott was gone, there wasn't anyone else that I really loved. There was just a lot of interesting names, a lot of interesting athletes, and we ended up getting one in Colton Dowell. Let's just start there because that's going to be the main thing people want to talk about. Didn't know who he was. I am in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm close to UT Martin. I have people that went to UT Martin. I don't know anyone that goes there right now. I'll ask what they know. It actually turns out he actually faced Tennessee this year. He had 112 yards against Tennessee. Now, this was in a blowout. And actually, let's look through this play-by-play. Now, I'm not a Tennessee Vol fan. There was no way I was going to watch this game. I'm wondering if he did this in any sort of competitive way or if this was all in garbage time. It probably was all in garbage time. But, I'm going to turn on this tape, and then this is going to be about as much as I'll do when it comes to Colton Dowell, because I'm not someone that's going to overanalyze seventh round picks. I know that's what some people love to do. Good for you if that's your move. Good on you. I wish you well. I remember how people used to dig into Trey McBride and dig into Cole McDonald and dig into Chance Campbell and go have fun. Go have fun. If you want to do that, great. Racy McMahon dug into him. Great. Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Me, I got better things to do. Now, I'll watch this game. I'll look at his numbers. And he has very good athletic numbers. He ran a 4.42 40-yard dash at 6'2 and 7/8. So damn near 6'3 running a 4.42 40. 212 pounds, 21 reps on the bench press. Now, and his 20-yard split and 10-yard splits were actually only okay, so he has great long speed. He's a deep threat with a 41.5-inch vertical and an 11 feet broad jump. He's a great athlete. He's a fantastic athlete. Can he catch the ball? Can he catch the ball consistently? Can he learn the playbook? Does he have good ethics? Does he have good character? Is he tough enough at the next level? Can he rise up to the occasion of moving from UT Martin to UT to now being in the NFL? I don't know. Now, Terrell Owens came from Chattanooga. So now Chattanooga is a better school than UT Martin when it comes to football. But well, maybe when it comes to everything. Sorry if you go to one of those schools. But sorry if you go to UT Martin. But who knows? I'm not going to stress about it too much. I'm looking through the play-by-play. So he got let me go in order here as best as I can. The game was actually kind of competitive for a quarter and a half. And during that quarter and a half, he caught a 41-yarder in the first quarter for a first down to the Tennessee 9, and this was a play that resulted in a touchdown. This was a drive that resulted in a touchdown, I should say, for UT Martin. So this made the game. All right, so he had a 41-yard completion that led to this game being tied 7-7. And then on the next drive, did he do anything? He caught a 25-yarder. Oh, he actually caught one for no gain, then a 25-yarder, then an 11-yarder. He had over 1,000 yards this season, by the way. And then, let's see, the next drive, not much. And then the next drive, nothing. And then the next drive, they punted, and then the game was over. So, he had about 70 yards 80 yards while this game was still in reach. So I'm going to assume he was going up against the Tennessee #1 corner. I'm going to turn on this tape. I'm going to watch this tape. I'm not going to let it get me too high, too low. I'm not going to be like, oh, look out. Look out. I'm going to be like, it's intriguing. We'll see. Because I remember when I turned on that Trey McBride highlight package from William and Mary or wherever he went, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Look out for Trey McBride. Look out. And then he didn't do anything. So I'm just not in the mood of wasting my time. By the way, someone just sent in a super chat that was retracted. I'm not sure if you meant to do that, but if you did, then that's fine. I don't know. So that's all I'm really going to say about Colton Dowell. Love the profile. Again, Racy McMath, Trey McBride. We can go over and over and over and over the guys that we've taken lately. But the other two, I think, really might. And the thing that I'm going to say overall about this Rand Carthon draft, and am I going to make another video about this draft just to milk some content tomorrow or Monday? I probably will. So let me maybe not go. I'll go broad anyway, and I'll just regurgitate my points because people like that for some reason. Rand Carthon had a very good draft. The lowest grade I'm giving him is Will Levis at a B-. As an empirical drafter, in terms of value, Rand Carthon had a very good draft. B- or higher for each and every pick. Skoronski for me is an A-. Will Levis is a B-. Ty J. Spears, I never give the grade in the video, but I give it a B. And then you move on to today. Josh, is it Wiley? I'm pretty sure it's Wiley. Let me make sure that it is actually Wiley because I had it muted today. I was preoccupied. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing his name correctly. But I looked up his tape right after. Looked up his profile, got a good feel for him. And again, we got a good view of this guy. Let's see. Can I actually find... want to make sure I'm not... pretty sure it's Wiley. If someone in the chat wants to confirm that it's Wiley, I'm pretty sure it is Wiley. I don't know why I can't find it right now easily. But let's say Wiley. I looked up his tape, and let me tell you, it's actually pretty damn good. The guy is a good athlete. He's able to move. He has a nice role at that wide tight end position. I don't know why ESPN had him listed as a fullback. I looked it up. He was only in the backfield for, maybe 5% of his snaps this season. I don't know why they had him listed in much in the backfield. He does it a little bit, but he finds a decent amount of his time in line tight end and also in the slot. I was actually quite impressed with what I saw from him, and I think he's going to be a nice compliment to Chig Okonkwo. Now, I also liked it because I do really like specifically... I do specifically like, some of these tight end prospects like Michael Mayer, Darnell Washington, etc. My problem with some of them were that I didn't want to minimize Chig and also make this much more of a two tight end system, where we're really having to focus on two tight ends and having to get them production. It sounds great, but I'm telling you, I just don't want to keep doing this. Last year we had Chig Okonkwo with 450 receiving yards, and we had Austin Hooper with 444. That was one of the better duos in the league. It didn't get us anywhere. We didn't move the football with that. So, now you're looking at, Josh Wiley here, and I still can't find a pronunciation to make sure that it is actually Wiley. Let me see here. I think I found one now. Don't want to completely butcher. It's either Whyle or Wiley. It has to be Wiley, just the way that it's spelled. Let's see. No, it's still not there. I'm gonna assume it's Wiley. There's anyone in the chat confirm it's Whyle or Wiley. Everyone's discussing and debating other things. But I'm gonna keep saying Wiley until someone corrects me. So I liked what I saw, and again, good athlete, ran. I want to say like a 4.69 40. So I like seeing that, and I think he's going to be decent. I mean, he had basically every for the last 3 years in Cincinnati about 300 yards. Yeah, it is Whyle. Okay, thank you. He had about 330, 350 yards like for the last 3 seasons at Cincinnati for the Bearcats. Nothing terrific, nothing special, but that's all we need. I mean, that's all you really need from a backup tight end. Because I just want to set up I want to set up this offense to where, hey, Chigo Konko is our tight end number one. He ends up being a maybe 6, 7, 800, maybe more. Hopefully, that'd be crazy. Yard wide, a tight end consistently, and then the backup gets a nice 3, 400. That's normal. That's good. That's great. That's all you need. You don't need much more than that. I don't think we needed two 600 yard, 700 yard tight ends. Like, it worked. I mean, it worked for Goddard and Ertz. It's hard to do. That's why no one does it. Goddard and Ertz is one of the few examples. Maybe Waller and Moreau would have done it, but even then, the Raiders traded Waller because now they're like, we have, Moreau playing well, Foster Moreau. We don't need Moreau and Waller. It just, to me, it sounds great with Gronk and Hernandez and Ertz and Goddard. Mostly just have a one great receiving tight end, have one decent one. And the problem with Whyle, though, he's not a great run blocker. So if Trevon Wesco, if he doesn't make the team, if he comes in overweight and out of shape or he can't learn the playbook, he got to get someone else in there because we don't have a strong run blocking tight end. Okonkwo's fine in terms of pass blocking, run blocking has never been his strong suit. Same with Whyle. So we're going to have to solidify a good blocking tight end, maybe call Michael Pruitt. I'm not sure if he's still the free agent. Maybe I think Jeff Swaim, well, he's not good anymore. Jeff Swaim struggled last year in terms of run blocking, but you're going to have to call somebody because unfortunately neither one of these guys can block as of this moment. But I liked this pick. And then we got Jaelyn Duncan, the tackle out of Maryland in the 6th round with, what was it, the 186th overall pick. And this is a pick that I really, really like. I actually mocked him to us in one of my mock drafts in the 3rd round because I felt he was going to go anywhere from the 3rd to the 5th. And I did a little bit of research on him, and I was, medium on him. That's why I thought he was going to go anywhere from 3rd to 5th. When I looked up more today, I was like, ooh, because I noticed, okay, wait, he gave up, 7 sacks this year? Ooh, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, this was at left tackle, and God knows where he'd play for us. He definitely needs to be coached up because 7 sacks is a lot. If you started him tomorrow in the NFL, he'd be Dennis Daly and even worse. He'd do 12 plus easily. So he needs to be coached up, and now he's not going to play anytime soon. But he has the athleticism that we're looking for. If you look at these relative athletic scores for a lot of our draft class, you notice that this is big for them. They want guys with height, weight, speed, athletic guys, even at the offensive line, which I know is funny, but yeah, that's what we were headed towards. That's what we're emphasizing much more of. So it made sense that this is what we did. I wish we would have went away with that and maybe drafted like a Michael Mayer or something. If we were going to go with a tight end, but earlier, or maybe some other athletes earlier. But these are the ones that we went with. So I think we did a good job in day 3. It's the day 3. They're 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. If anyone is going to do anything, I don't think Whyley's ever going to be more than a 500-yard tight end. So don't get your hopes up. But I think he's going to contribute a nice 300-400 every year, be what we need him to be. So, I think that's fine. I wouldn't even expect it to be Bo Scaife. I'm not even expecting him to be Bo Scaife. He's going to come in there. He's going to do all right. He could be a little Anthony Ferkser. Now, Ferkser, my boy, whenever he was on, whenever he was at his best, a better pass catcher for sure, someone that you could rely upon, not a great blocker, but someone that was very consistent over the middle. Is Whyle that? He's much more of a move tight end, as they were showing, a guy that will be in the slot, but a good red zone target, but has some nice agility to him. I think he's going to do all right. The blocking, though, it's going to be a concern. If he doesn't really catch on with the blocking, he may only ever be a number 3 for us because the blocking is going to be a concern run blocking wise. That's the only thing that I look at for Whyle. Duncan, can he be coached up to ever be better in pass protection? And I want to see him at other positions. He started all 4 years at left tackle for the Terps. What does he look like at right tackle? Is that a better fit for him? What does he look like at guard? Because his body type is a little bit flexible. He's about 305 pounds or something like that. But you could maybe even transition him to guard potentially. I could see it. So this is someone that I think could step in potentially if Dillard gets injured and we want to keep Skoronski at guard. Okay, we could do that. Someone that could be in there. I like the pick, and that one I'd give. So Wiley, I'll give it a B. I can't go much. I like it. I don't love it. I mean, there's not much that you can get at this point. But I think it was one of the better tight end picks that you could have made at that point. And I think at that point, let me check. I think Will Mallory was already gone at that point as well. Let me ensure if that's the truth. Yeah. So when we took Wiley, we took him. Where did we take him? Yeah, 147th overall. And I'm pretty sure like Will Mallory actually might have been on the board. I would have took like a Will Mallory above him. Yeah, Will Mallory went to the Colts later. I definitely would have liked Will Mallory over him. Payne Durham out of Purdue probably over him. So I can't go much higher than a B, but I think it is a B. I think he's going to come in here and do some things for us for sure. Like his body control. He's going to make some plays in the seam and in some other matchups as well. So don't expect too much, but I like the pick. It's going to be a nice compliment. So that's it for day 3. I'm going to go ahead and get to some of the comments in the super chat. Don't want to spend too much time on day 3. I mean, it's day 3. We'll see what they do. I don't know if anyone, I mean, even if any of these guys are, I mean, they're not going to be superstars. They're just not. Like Wiley, while he's a nice athlete, he's not going to be a superstar. No way. So there's no superstar here. I mean, Duncan might end up being a starting tackle. That'd be great. But I mean, that's years down the road, so there's not much to discuss there. And Colton Powell, my thing with Powell is, look, okay, so we took a wide receiver, right? So Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel are about to troll and go on the podium and say, well, we took a wide receiver. And it doesn't matter because he's coming out of UT Martin. He's not going to play his rookie year. This is moving from the UT Martin system and playbook and scheme to now come into our franchise as a 7th round wide receiver and contribute. Maybe if his name was Kayshawn Bowd or something, but no, this UT Martin wide receiver is not going to come in here and play. He's not going to play. So forget about it. It's not going to happen. All right, so we had Breezy Caleb, his super chat that was retracted. He meant to say Go Mox. So yeah, thank you, Breezy Caleb, for the super chat. And yeah, I have a lot of friends that went to UT Chattanooga, so much respect. I'll always respect the Mox. Go Mox. All right, so I'll get to some of the comments. I mean, the chat as Sports Fan Entertainment. I mean, I already spent so much time yesterday talking about the Levis thing and all that, so I don't want to harp on that too much. But, one of the things about this draft is, I would have been totally fine with this draft if we would have stayed at 41 and you select, even if you don't even select a wide receiver, I don't even care. If you would have just took a good player, like if you took center Joe Tittman, people would have been upset because, wow, you're taking another interior offensive lineman. Look, Tittman and Skoronski would have been great. And then you have Dillard. We'll see what he does at left tackle. Skoronski. You have Tittman. At least we know Skoronski and Tittman. Those are our offensive linemen moving forward. Hopefully, Nicholas Petit-Frere in terms of rebuilding this offensive line moving forward. At least, and then the rest of the picks, if there were these picks, I would have said, okay, if we would have done this, and then tomorrow we cut Tannehill and we said, hey, we're gonna, or we traded Tannehill, whatever we did, and then even though I don't want to, and let's say we traded Derrick Henry and we said, hey, we feel like this is the best move for our franchise moving forward, and they're not going to admit it, but we're taking for Caleb Williams. If we would have had this exact same draft and you substitute Will Levis for Joe Tittman, we would stink and trade Tannehill and Henry, but keep Byard. We would stink, and I'd love it because I think this would have been a great foundation for us to go into next year, stink, get the number 1 pick, get Caleb Williams without having to trade up, and really rebuild this thing. And I would have been like, okay, I'm down. Now I'm down. But now again, and we're going to have so many discussions about Levis. We've already discussed him last night. I mean, I'm already kind of over it. I don't really want to just continue to just rant about this and complain about this. Now the worry for me is because I don't care, people. Look, the schedule's going to come out in a couple weeks. We're going to discuss it when it comes out. I am convinced. And we're going to discuss the undrafted free agents as well. I'm convinced that this is a 4 to 6 win football team. That's what I'm convinced. That's what I believe. I will see what the Tannehill plan is, but you could have solidified 2 or 3 wins by just trading Tannehill and Henry and having this draft, and then you secure Caleb Williams, and I would actually be fine with the It'd be a bad roster. Well, it's not even that bad, but it'd be a young roster, right? So, like, you'd have Malik Willis running around out there, handing the ball off to Tyjae Spears and Hassan Haskins. It'd be bad. It'd be like Zach Mettenberger and Antonio Andrews, or I think that's at that point we saw Bishop Sankey. And Bishop Sankey, it'd be bad, okay? It'd be bad. It'd be awful. And you'd have them throwing deep balls to Traylon Burks. We wouldn't score anything, but hey, we'd have better protection with Titman and Skoronski and maybe Dillard and maybe Brunskill, and it'd be ugly, and people would hate it, and casual fans in the area would be upset because the Titans are obviously tanking, and people around the league would trash us and say, oh, the trash Titans and all this crap, and I would have went through with it. Because at the end of the day, Caleb Williams would have been waiting for us, and we would have got him. Because as of this moment, the only team that to me is obviously tanking, and it's going to depend how their season starts, is the Cardinals. If the Cardinals start off, with Colton McCoy, and they start off 0-5, 0-6, 0-7, they're going to tell Kyler Murray most likely to sit down, and they're going to, just continue to roll with McCoy. Murray will never play, and they'll get Caleb Williams, and they'll ship Kyler Murray out of there, probably. It's still like, I don't know if it's a lot of money because, he has all that money with his contract, and I don't know who really wants to take that on. I don't know what the suitors for Kyler Murray would be. Would we be one of those suitors? Maybe. I doubt it. I mean, in this scenario, we're holding on to Levis, but still, assuming we didn't draft Levis, though, it would have been the Cardinals and us. And as of right now, and the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to stink, but I think, and the Bucks. So they would have been the Bucks. And then if Garoppolo gets hurt, the Raiders are going to get involved. If Desmond Ridder stinks, the Falcons are going to get involved. The Texans and the Colts are going to not be very good. I think the Colts are going to be a 6-win team, maybe 7. I think the Texans, same thing. So I don't think they're actually going to be up there. I think they're going to be 5 to 7-win teams, maybe even 8. Depending how those rookie quarterbacks play for them. I actually really believe that. I would take it's going to depend, again, if I want to see how much Tannehill and Henry actually play and what the plan is. But if you ask me to bet, I think they're not better on paper than us, but I think this season's just going to go bad. I just don't see any way the season goes well on record-wise. I just don't see it. So, whereas them, they're going to be young, and they're going to be building, and the Texans have been bad for so long now. I mean, it's like, are they really going to lose 4 or less games, or win 4 or less games again? I mean, they should finally now have some lucky wins and win like 6. I mean, with Stroud and Pierce and Mechie and Tank Dell, and the defense has some pieces. I know Derek Stingley currently stinks, but maybe actually makes improvements. And then the Colts, hey, Richardson and Pittman and Taylor and Pierce, and they drafted Josh Downs, and they still have Buckner and Shaquille Leonard. The Colts should be, I don't know how Richardson's going to play. The Colts should be a 6 or 7-win team easily. At least 6. I mean, they were 4 last year. They're going to win at least 6 next year. So the Colts aren't a threat. So you should have you should have tanked. And that's my stance. And I'm not going to back off of that ever. The only way I'm ever going to back off of that is if Caleb Williams ends up being a bust. Okay. Or if he just next year doesn't play well in college and he just doesn't end up looking like a number 1 overall pick. And then next year we look at the draft class and there's no definitive number 1 overall pick. If that happens, then I'll be like, and Levis plays fine, which like, I'm sure, again, he's going to play fine. He'll have like 10 touchdowns to like 8 interceptions. That's the only way I'm going to be happy. Outside of that, the way that there was one real way to change the trajectory of this franchise to potentially being a Super Bowl champion, and I think we blew it. In the next 5 years, the only way for me was Caleb Williams. And now it's 5+ years at least, because it's either going to be Levis as he continues to learn and grow, and we continue to rebuild this roster as Levis continues to learn and grow. And that's the hope. But I'm not kidding, guys. I don't see us being a Super Bowl contender. Maybe we'll contend if things go so well in terms of who we sign next year in free agency, and the Levis improves quicker than I think. Maybe in 3 years. But in 23 and 24, they're nothing to me. They're just transitory period to me. And I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you people. This is what I believe. It's bad. It's bad. It's nasty. It's the same thing that it's bad, because I used to, this was before, because now it's kind of crazy. Like now, at least back in the day, whenever we knew we were going to be mediocre, like maybe you guys were online and maybe you guys had, were on forums and, you used to read articles, read the newspaper. It wasn't as intense to me. Now, I was a kid. I was a teenager. So I always watched the game, and I'm still going to watch the games because now I cover the games. But, 2011 and 12, at least we had Locker. But I had faith in Locker. Now, I was 15. I had faith in Locker. Jesus Christ. In 2011, hey, rookie year Locker was good. He was good. So, but by 2013, we still had faith we were going to make the playoffs in 2013 and Locker was going to prove himself. This is giving me pre-2014 vibes. 100%. Because in 2014, we fired Mike Munchak that offseason, and we thought that Ken Wisenhunt was going to come in here and was going to fix Jake Locker. And I remember that offseason we signed. Was it that season? I can't remember if it was that season that we signed Michael Orr or if it was the season before. But we had some sketchy free agent signings. Let me see if it was that year. We had some sketchy free agent signings in that offseason. Let's see, Michael Orr. I'm not sure if this article is going to have that listed. Let's see. Let me just look up Michael Orr then. Well, maybe. Is he on this roster? No. Okay, it wasn't Michael Orr. But we had some, some shady free agent signings. And, we took Taylor Lewan, which we needed to do because it was obvious that we needed to have a changing of guard and find our new franchise tackle. And we hoped that Ken Wisenhunt was going to come in here and fix things. And, we hoped that Justin Hunter was going to take another step forward. And, we hoped that, we were going to, rectify the problems that Munchak had. And, the experience of Ken Wisenhunt being a former Super Bowl head coach is going to come in here and right the ship. And then Jake Locker went down, and then it was Whitehurst, and then it was Mettenberger, and then by the end, it was a total disaster. And that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm feeling. I don't know if it's going to be that bad because that was 2-14. That was pretty damn bad. But we're 7-10 last year. In 2013, we were 7-10. I don't even know. Sorry, in 2022, last year, we were 7-10. We were worse. This is where we're trending. This is not good. This is not good. Are the free agents that we just had, Skoronski is the only one that's going to contribute better than what we had last year. Of the draft class that we just had, Skoronski is the only one that's going to be better than what we had last year. We're going to regress. Period. This is what I believe. This is what I believe. So when we win 4 to 6 games, and barring injury, it could be 3. And again, and someone in the chat just said, we lost 7 games to end the season. This is what this team is. We're in free fall. This is not going to be a good team. As of right now, I'm looking at the Super Bowl odds. There's only a couple teams that have worse odds than us. There are 4, actually. The Bucks, who I agree are bad and might be worse than us. And they will take Caleb Williams, so you have to look out for that. But they had a good draft, so they might still win some games, and they're in a bad division. The Colts, Texans, I think they're going to be better than us. I'm just being honest with you guys. I think the Colts and the Texans, when it's all said and done, not early, I think when it's all said and done, they're going to be better than us. And then the Cardinals, and I think they're going to be worse than us, but it depends if they bench Kyler or not at the end. And we're slightly better than the Commanders, who are definitely better than us. That's ridiculous. The Commanders are going to compete for the playoffs. The Falcons, we'll see what Ritter does. The Patriots, definitely better. The Steelers, definitely better. The Rams, definitely better if Stafford plays. And even then, again, last year, guys, the Rams went 5-12. The Rams went 5-12. Okay? The only reason we went 7-10 is because we're in this terrible division, and that was last year. And we're going to regress. This roster is worse than the roster last year. Period. The draft class of free, they're worse. It's worse. So I'm telling you, I'm just warning everyone right now. I don't want to be too doom and gloom. We're going to go through the schedule in a couple of weeks. And yeah, and I might make another video depending on, if we sign somebody saying undrafted free agents. And we probably will this week, so I'll discuss that. But overall, though, I do want to say I like this draft. It's a good start for Ran Carthon, but it's a start. And it's indicating that we are starting over. I mean, it really is. I just hope that the Levis thing, and we're not going to know rookie year, really. I think he's going to be fine, and we're not going to know. It's just going to depend where we're drafting and how much they have faith in him, and if they're going to continue with him, or are they going to say, and this is the excuse that's baked in now. The excuse is baked in now. Well, he didn't have any weapons. Well, whose fault is that? I mean, that's what they're going to tell you. They're gonna sit there and tell you, well, how could you expect him to perform well? He didn't have any weapons. That's what they're going to say. And my God, how frustrating that will be. I mean, it's going to be insane when they sit up there and tell us that. How insane is that going to be? So that's going to do it for me. End of draft coverage for this weekend. Thank you all for joining me throughout this tumultuous process. I enjoyed covering the draft this year for the first time in like 6 seasons. And as long as I'm free next year this weekend, I'll be back to do it again. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.